In this video, we are going to make an herbed tofu feta cheese, which I'm really excited about because I actually bought some store-bought feta cheese a few weeks ago and it was really good. But it was made from coconut oil. It probably was like higher fat content, whatever. So it's nice sometimes to make your own, and then also get like a little bit of a healthier version. So if we're making it with tofu, there's very little fat in it, and so I wanted to give it a go. So for the tofu feta itself, we're going to go through making that, and then I'm actually going to make a really quick watermelon salad with feta, which is like a very sort of trendy thing to do. I don't know if it has any basis in tradition, but we're going to put that together because I think that sounds delicious, and especially for the summer right now, the last couple of weeks have been really hot, so it'd be awesome to have like a cold sort of like throw together summer salad with this tofu feta in it, and then the marinade from the tofu feta will actually just end up being the salad dressing. So it's really good. And I just noticed a message from my cousin Dina who said she's never had a really good store-bought feta. So the brand that I bought was Shees, which is H-S-E-E-S-E. And their feta is like the craziest vegan cheese you've ever had. It's really good. So, but let's get into our tofu feta cheese recipe. So for this you're going to need, I'm making a half recipe, so about 2 cloves of garlic, but you can obviously add more because garlic is awesome. You're going to need some olive oil, apple cider vinegar, and you're going to need some white miso paste. So it sounds like some sort of like obscure Asian ingredient, but you can actually just get this exact brand at Walmart, and a lot of grocery stores have it, or if you have a really good Asian grocery store, you can get some really nice stuff. We're going to need lemon juice, fresh or store-bought. You're going to need a bit of water, nutritional yeast, no surprise there, and then some herbs and spices and salt and pepper. So let's get started on the tofu feta. And I'm going to switch you guys down like I always do, and you can see exactly what I'm doing. Alright, so the main ingredient in this tofu feta cheese, I forgot, is the tofu. So usually I never, or usually I don't press my tofu if I'm making like a stir fry or something like that, because I don't mind tofu and I just throw it in. But when you're making a recipe like this, I actually did press this tofu in my tofu press. So I started with extra firm and I pressed all the water out of it. If you don't have a tofu press, any of the vegans watching this will tell you secret special ways to press your tofu. So basically you can put a plate on it and put some heavy stuff on it with like a tea towel underneath, but you want to get as much water out of it as you possibly can so that it will soak up the marinade, because you're just going to eat it without cooking it in a different sauce. So you have that, and then you want to, this is a little bit big, but you should try to find a container that is just big enough to fit everything. It should be really small, and then that way the marinade will stick all around and it won't be a huge container with a tiny bit of tofu. So we've got that right there, and then we're going to make our marinade. So the first thing is the garlic. So this is super quick to make. Yep, you guys can see that. And so for the olive oil, you're going to go with half a tablespoon. Again, I'm making a half recipe because I made the other half of the block of tofu, so that's half a block of tofu. Half a tablespoon of olive oil. There we go. And then we're going to do 1/8 of a cup of the apple cider vinegar. So 1/8 of a cup. Whoa! We're going to take a bit of that out. My apple cider vinegar got a little too excited there. So that's 1/8 of a cup, and then we're going to do 1 tablespoon of the miso paste. So this, if you've never seen miso, this is what it looks like. So this is white, considered white miso, and there is red miso. So the red miso is like super strong, and this white miso is a little bit less strong, but it's still potent. So we're going to use that. And what the miso is doing is giving that, like, they call it umami, but it's like that savory, sort of like salty, savory flavor, which is great for like a feta cheese flavor, right? So we've got 1 tablespoon of that, and we have 1.5 or half a lemon worth of lemon juice. So what was this? This was half a tablespoon. So we're going to do 1.5 tablespoons. So 3 of these. There we go. I just have to wipe this nasty miso off my finger. So we've got our 1.5 tablespoons of lemon juice, and then we're going to need 1.5 tablespoons of just water. So 1, 2, 3. And then we have 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast, which again, nutritional yeast is another thing that's going to give a savory flavor. It's going to thicken up the marinade, and it's going to give it a cheesy flavor. So it's like gold here. So 1 tablespoon of that. And then what we have now is our flavorings. So this one I try not to put a lot of salt, but feta cheese is salty, so we're going to put a bit of salt in here. But you'll also get a salty flavor out of the miso too, so you put as much salt as you want. And then our black pepper. And then what we're going to do is half of a teaspoon of dried basil. Basil. And same thing, half of a teaspoon, oh, that's in French, parsley. There we go. And then because it is Greek and feta cheese, we're going to put some dried oregano. So I actually have some dried oregano from my garden, so I'm just going to pinch off like a little mini handful of it, and I'm going to hope that that's half a teaspoon. I'm just going to grind it up in there. Which is not the cleanest thing to do, but whatever. Cooking isn't clean. So there we have all of our ingredients, and you want to stir this with a fork because the miso is going to take a while to like actually mush in. But it'll, because of the nutritional yeast in the miso, it'll actually end up looking kind of creamy, even though it might not taste creamy in the moment. So it didn't actually take that long. So you're going to just make sure that everything's incorporated. There are going to be chunks of garlic and maybe a little bit of miso, but it's not a big deal. You just want to make sure it's all incorporated. And if you want to put more or less herbs in it, and you can dictate how much salt, that's fine. And then you're just going to pour that all over the tofu, just like that. And then it kind of looks weird. So that's what that's going to end up looking like. And then what you want to do, again, it should be a really small container. And you want to refrigerate that probably for like 2 hours at least, or overnight. Like if you do it overnight, like the day before, it's awesome. But what I would do, see this container is really big, is like every time you go to the fridge, just flip it over so that the marinade can go on that side for a bit, and then flip it back over next time you're in the fridge. And then you can keep that around. So that is the feta portion of that. And again, you can put that on a salad like we're going to do. You can toss it on, like if you have a Buddha bowl, if you make like a rice dish, if you have a pita wrap. That's something really cool that you can like keep in your fridge and use it when you want. So I'll just show you guys one more time what that looks like. For anyone new joining, we just made a marinade for our tofu feta cheese. There you go. And now I'm really excited. We're going to make our watermelon salad. So before I went vegan, I don't think I ever had this type of like watermelon feta salad. So I'm pretty excited to try it. So for that, we're going to need some cubed up watermelon. We're going to need our tofu feta cheese. And then here I have some mint, also from my own garden. So we grow some mint. And then I'm trying to get more greens in, so I've chopped up some kale, actually super fine, that we're going to put in. So kale, and then we have cucumber, which I took some of the seeds out so it's not too wet, because we're going to get lots of moisture from the watermelon. Obviously, it's watermelon. And then some red onion. So we're going to put this together. And April's asking, so the tofu will absorb the marinade, so that's why for this recipe you want to press the tofu, because you're pressing all the water out of the tofu so the marinade can go in. So that's a really good tip, like if you're kind of like, with tofu, and you're maybe going to put it in a stir fry or something, or a spaghetti sauce, the more you press the water out, the more the flavors of that sauce will go into the tofu. But like I've said before, like I'll eat tofu right out of the package, so that's up to you. Okay, so let's quickly assemble the salad. Got our bowl, and I'm gonna be careful with the watermelon because I think there's a lot of water that like got out of it, so I'm gonna try not to get that water in the salad. So you can see there's lots of water down there. So that's another thing, probably you could do the cheese and the watermelon like the day before and let all the water soak out. So there we go. So we've got, this was like probably, so I had a watermelon cut in half, and this was probably 3 or 4 slices worth of that. And then we will throw our mint in, our garden mint. We've got our chopped up kale. I like the colors on this too, and then when we put the white feta in, it's going to look good. So we've got a little bit of cucumber there. And we have our red onion. I like a lot of red onion, so I'm going to put that in. But you know what I just thought of would be really good is like if we had pickled these red onions first. That would be delicious. You can make a really quick pickled red onion if you just get some like, I think white wine or red wine vinegar is really nice. Just slice up your red onions and throw it in there in a dish, and there you go. So there we got that. And then this is the prep tofu feta that I already made. So you can see that the marinade has kind of like clumped on everything. So it just smells so good. So this is what it's going to look like, and the longer you let it sit in your fridge, the longer it'll absorb the flavors, so it's really nice to keep that. But for this recipe, you can see all the extra marinade in there, and that's going to effectively be the salad dressing. So again, this is a half recipe. It's a half a block of tofu for this salad. So that's just all going to go right in. And actually, yeah, so the marinade gets like really amazing. And it's a built-in salad dressing, so I don't have to make another dressing. Awesome. So, look at that. Oh my god, so hungry and excited to eat this. And I really like a little bit of kale in here and the mint, because you get that green color in there. Oh my gosh. So good. So you can have this as like a side salad, or like if you wanted to do it as a meal, you could put this on some cold grains like quinoa or buckwheat or something, or have it just on a bed of like regular lettuce. So take a look at all those colors. I can't stop smelling it. I don't want to put my nose on the screen, but oh, it's so good. I'm so like excited when I make these, because I get so hungry like prepping everything that I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. Okay, taste test time. Although I don't know why I bother doing taste tests, because every time I do a taste test I just tell you it tastes delicious. But it does. Okay, so we've got a bite. We've got our cheese, our watermelon, a bit of onion and cucumber. It's so good. Like, I got like a pop of the mint in my mouth when I took that bite with the red onion. Oh my god, so good. You really have to try this one. But the mint for sure, like now that I've tasted that, I would not leave out the mint. Like, get yourself some mint. Or grow it. If you grow it in your garden, it'll grow like weeds, and you will never be wanting for mint. So good. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Best recipe. One of the best recipes. So that's it, guys. That, you know, it didn't take very long even when I was prepping it before the video. Super easy to pull together, and something that if you had guests over and you served this, they would think you were being like super fancy when really it didn't take that long. And I will be posting this on my YouTube channel, so I always try to get you guys to go there and watch it and like it and comment on it. That would be awesome. And I'm going to test out next week, hopefully before next week, to go live on YouTube. So I hope that you guys can join me going live on YouTube next week as well. I think anyone can watch it, but if you want to make a comment on it, you probably have to have an account. But I'm going to test that out before next week, and we're going to try going live on YouTube. So between that, going live on YouTube, and eating this delicious salad, it's a good day. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to maybe eat this whole bowl. I don't know. Thanks again. And any sort of interaction or support on my YouTube channel is always appreciated. I hope you have a wonderful day, and go make some tofu feta cheese. Bye!